computer startup.
Hi, my name is Thomas Südbrücker. I like to learn and I like to share what I've learned, especially in the development area. And this is the reason why I created a blog. Yeah, here I share my knowledge and my experience around development related to cloud, AI and agents. AI and agents getting more and more popular. And I also have a YouTube channel at the moment. You're watching a YouTube video I record, and today it is Wednesday, the 1st of October. And it is, let me see here. It is 10 minutes to 8 p.m. I created a video related to a topic which is called watsonx Orchestrate, and watsonx Orchestrate did AI agents for business, but I really focusing on how to work with watsonx Orchestrate, building that agents on, especially on your local machine, on with the local development topic in this video, and what I also did in many other blog posts and videos at the moment. I use for that example the nice idea for a company, and the company has an application which is called for the Galaxium Travels. If you want to know more about Galaxium Travels, just visit Max Hirsch and also his YouTube channel. He can give you a little bit more insights about that. I like that we have a nice application, also infrastructure, and that is what I'm going to use also in that example, and I used it in many different other examples. And we use this in context with say here with Docker Compose, where we run watsonx Orchestrate Development Edition, the server in Compose, which is done here, and also we will run the containers. So that was the first introduction to that. Now let us see how we move on to show all of that really step by step. That is what I really want to do. I want to show you that step by step. Let's see. So that is the infrastructure, what we are going to use in that context. We have here the Galaxium Travels local infrastructure in Compose. We have a front end, we have a back end which is implemented in REST, and at the end we would have also a back end, but with MCP implemented. And that is also what you directly see with that. We have a difference between here. Here we consume directly this back end with the REST API, directly in our not AI application, that is our normal front end. And we will use the MCP server, which implements the access to different functionality to the Galaxium booking system with our AI application. At the end, an agent is also application with the integration providing here the tools. So that is what we are going to do. So we will use that in that context. And then it looks like this more minimal diagram that we have here, the server, and what we also only consume is here from the booking system here, with the MCP server, we will show which are the available flights. That's all what we are going to do. We will only use one tool from here, and we will set up everything what is needed to do that. What are the steps? The steps are we going to set up here for sure the entire infrastructure for that, and for the Galaxium Travels in the Docker Compose. Then we set up the watsonx Orchestrate ADK and the watsonx Orchestrate Developer Edition. We verify that the MCP server works with all of that containerized infrastructure on the local machine, and then we import the tool from the encoder, the remote server inside our Docker Compose, and that is what we are going to do.
Computer startup.
For this, I created that GitHub project for easy to follow. I provide here an outline when you clone that to your local machine, that you have an easy way just to set up everything and know where to install everything and download everything. That means these folders are empty. It's only in structure how you can use it. And then that is a guidance how to use that folder structure in that context and build that step by step. That's also, there is not a lot of code here inside. Yeah, we will just clone from different repositories, or we will add libraries. That is what we will do. We follow all the steps. So, and here you can see, I will also later on put that video inside that description so that you also can watch that video. With that, clone the repository to your local machine. That is already done on my side at the moment. Here I also show the folder structure, as you can see. Yeah, that is the folder structure. And now we're going to set up here the Galaxium Travels. And I also have done that in the other videos. And now we're going to download or to clone that on the local machine here. And I show you how to navigate. I just will follow the steps I written here. And now we start with the setup. I like to copy and paste. So here we going now into that terminal. You must have a container engine on your local machine. The best is here for the Docker or Ranger. Yeah, for the setup, you can for sure not to also take a look here inside the watsonx ADK documentation. Now let's go. Let's clone that. Yeah, and by the way, you can see here that I always say CD here. Sometimes it is not necessary to go to that. I try to ensure that you know where the folder, and that is the reason why I put that more than once in the description here or in the instructions. Not created. I wasn't for a wrong folder. So here, that is in the REST. So here is it. And then we can just move on. And now we're going to the folder of the container. Okay, here you can see as a compose file, which gives the ability to run all the different containers. Not only run the different containers, also build the containers. So that means when you are going to change something, you can easily start everything at the same time, so that you can just verify everything is running inside a containerized infrastructure. The bash script starts everything what is necessary, and now we're going to build everything, and then it's here, it is running. And we can take a look. There we have here the MCP server. We have here the link to the web application. Yeah. So let's see here the web application. It's not here. That is the backend REST API. So here we can invoke, maybe try out to get all the, as you can see, all the flights which are available. Here is the front end. Here we do also see all the flights. So that is now running. And that is not running at the moment because that will be from watsonx Orchestrate UI. Can try to access the MCP, but not in the browser, but that will be done later. So, okay, with that, we have done. It is running, and now we can just go and we can say, okay, we want here to stop that server. So that is also what I wrote in the documentation. We're going here back. So when we go step by step, we did that. And now we have our main objective is not really that we take a look at how are the applications. At the end, we will only communicate with the MCP server, that we are ensure that the containers were built. That means the container images were built, and will be instantiated. And later on, we will run a different container inside the watsonx Developer Edition compose configuration, and that is what we will have later. Okay, and now going back. Now we're going here to the setup of the watsonx Orchestrate. For sure, you can also take a look here in my Getting Started blog. More detailed way how to set it up. Go to the watsonx ADK documentation to do all that stuff. And that is an extraction just to have very fast walkthrough to set everything up. And for that, we navigate to the watsonx Orchestrate ADK folder in the cloned repository. And we open here a new terminal. Create here a virtual environment. Python, we're going to use Python. So that environment is now ready to go. So, and with that, we are going here to install, and that is now what we are going to do. We're going to install the watsonx Orchestrate ADK, which includes also then later on that we are able to start a server and so on. That is what we're now going to install with that step. So then we will have also a command line. So, and that is the version what we are currently using. And when we take a look here, which are the, let us see, what is at the moment the current version? When we take a look at that, we have a newer version. Then it is compared to here. So let's see, that is the version now .1. Yeah. Create the environment file. I already did that. Here are all the credentials and all the information you need to do that you can really work with the watsonx Development Edition locally. Yeah, so if you want to have the details, take a look, as I said here in my blog post, or maybe in the documentation of the ADK itself. So that is already done on my side. And now we can just go here and we can start the server. So, now it starts very fast. I have already started on the server also again before, so otherwise it would take a little bit longer because it needs to download the container images, yeah, from the IBM registry, and then everything is here. So that is the reason why it was so fast. We can extract now the configuration of the Docker Compose, because then we have also here a Docker Compose file, and we will do that with that command. So when we have that command, so here, and then you can see we have a Docker Compose file and a server environment file, and inside the Docker Compose file now we will also change something. But before we do that, because we stop the server, because later on we will start the server with the Docker Compose. So we do not need at the moment the server running. And then we get the information what is needed for the setup. So we have copy. And now inside the compose file for Watson Orchestrate, we navigate until section where the volumes are. And then here we are going to insert what we have. And with that, we need really to ensure that it is good formatted. And with that copy and paste, sometimes it does not so good work. So we need to ensure in YAML files everything is really in the right order. It should work. Yeah, it should work with that configuration. Let me see. Oh, the ports can be here. We have that here. So, okay, we save it. Let's see if it is possible to start. To start the server. So that means we can just start here with the new configuration. We have the image here, and what you can see later on, we have a different container We have one container already when we started it once, which is called only HR database, and the next container, which are going to be instantiated based on the container image, is called WX, and that is also running then in our container engine. So, and with that, we're going really to start. And I will also start, now you can see here, now the different containers which are going to start. You can here see the WX, HR database, and so on. And when everything is done and it is running, we can also verify again if the applications are available, because we stopped the applications. So when everything is done here, so it's again, yeah, it's available. You can see, yeah, available. So it takes a little bit for the initialization. But with that in mind, we are ready to go to the next step. Yeah, when that is fully running and we can see the initialization and everything is working. So everything is working. Chatting would also be possible. What we now also have, we have also here the ability to log on, for example, also for monitoring. Yeah, so that is what I always like. So here that is automatically set up for us with Langfuse, so that we can observe the agents and the interactions inside the watsonx Orchestrate Developer Edition here on the server when we have anything. And then here we can also inspect also, for example, traces when we really would interact now with the watsonx Orchestrate. So that is, yeah, I like that, and that is the reason why I always set it up. Okay, yeah, everything now. We have that. Going back. So we have that. And now we are going to connect to the MCP server.
Computer startup.
So if here we're going to clean up that. Clear. So therefore we can also open up a new folder, not new terminal. So because we will run that, so that we have it concurrently running. So now we will just start the MCP Inspector. The MCP Inspector gives us really then the ability to inspect the MCP server, what is currently there. And when that is now running, see, no, the inspector is running. So here we can open up here the inspector, and now we need here the ports where we know, okay, that is the port, and we have here MCP, and the port is 8084, and we do not need really to set up an authentication at the moment. That is really without any authentication. And now we can connect, and now we are connected. We are connected to the MCP, and we can list the tools, and we can also maybe run the tool for listing. So we can see here that is the result. So And what you directly see, what is totally different when we take a look here, that is the REST API and that is MCP, and that is the difference. MCP is really built for model context protocol. It is really that where everything what is needed for interaction with AI applications, for example, also with agents, and that is all, and that is also an interface here. What you can see that we do have not only the ability inside an MCP server to provide tools, we can also provide prompt access, other resources, and so on. And that is a total different usage. And if you already have an API which is working and you want to use the API still and maybe not to exchange too much with AI topics, in some cases it maybe makes also sense what you have seen before with the integration or just importing tools based on the REST API. But if you really want to use the full capabilities, which the tools providing for having here in catalog, putting that to other application which is based on AI on or agents utilizing tools, then it totally, for sure, then it totally makes sense here to build an MCP server, and use the MCP and providing also catalogs and so on. So, and that is a big difference, between the REST, and here what you see here with MCP. So with that, we did the inspection, the first inspection. So back. And now we are going back to watsonx Orchestrate ADK. And now we start chat. So the chat, and now when we go here, then now we have also the chat here is running. And now we have here a possibility to chat, for example, with an agent. So, and here we can also, what I said here with the tracing. So that is a trace, and then can directly see how everything is working. So everything is now working, and now we're going to set up the integration here in a new terminal, the integration to the MCP server. That is our next step. So now we did the inspection, and then here connect. With that, we just now ensure we just list the environments which are currently available on our path, and we have here, I have some other also, and here you can see we have the local, and now we can see, okay, we have also activated the local one, and then we going forward, and now we already have done that. So in the case if you haven't done it, or maybe you have closed you have closed the tab, then you can start that again, just that here. And now we are going to generate connections. So here that is what we are going now to create. So we have that is running, and now we're going to create a connection. And here we use the CLI, and now we create a new connection. So first of all, here I try to remove it in a case if it's already there, just to have the right setup. And now we provide the information really to set up or to say, okay, which environment is. And when you work inside watsonx Orchestrate now, what I say with the environment, we have the draft and not the production environment. And that is what I said. I say the connection we are going to use is the team type. That means it's valid for the team. So everyone which is inside the team and uses the agent, for example, can use the tools without any extra authentication. Yeah, and we see how to connect. That is the basic authentication, and that is the ID we have also said before. That is the connection ID, the application ID for us in that to connect to. So, and now we set up, here. Now that is very important with the server. Now we do not, because that is important to understand, we are inside the Docker Compose and we will not be going to the local host. And here with that, we saying here the service name. That is what you have seen before when we copied all the definitions of the compose inside the Docker Compose file of the watsonx Orchestrate. Yeah, so that was then also the service name for the MCP server. So with that, yeah, we're going to copy that. And then it's set up. So that makes it clear. And now we need, when we have an authentication defined, and you need the authentication, normally you should not have any application which has no authentication. That is only for the example here. But the good thing is with a base authentication is that you can just invoke the same endpoint without any additional restrictions. That means also if an endpoint has no authentication and you just invoke it with basic authentication, it is also possible to do that. So, and now that is the reason why we just defined it, even if it's not used. Yeah. So now we have also here the authentication defined for the connection. And now is the moment where we are going to import the tools or the tool itself. So we could also have a list. At the moment, we will only use list flights. Yeah, that is what we're going to use. We're going also only to use the list flights. We provide here the information of the transport. So that is what you have seen when I connected here. Yeah, that is the type of the MCP server, how the communication type is. And with that is defined. Team, everything, the URL again. So that is the entire information you need to provide. And now we are going to import the tools from the MCP server inside. So it is done. So let's see. So that is the problem with the browser. So I have it here in my here it works. Here you can see that is the MCP is running. I do not know what the browser here, the Firefox doesn't work, so I have no clue at the moment. So what here the problem is. So maybe with some more tools, web developer tools, there's something entry. It has some problems with JavaScript interpretation. Okay, but here it is working. And with that, yeah, we are done. We can now also edit our example here. Just maybe we can add the tool. Let's try out to add the tool. Now we have here from the local instance, and that is local instance now because we have imported that from the remote MCP server. And let's try here list all flights. What it does, step 1, and it gets the data from the MCP server. Yeah, everything is working, yeah, except here in the Firefox. I do not know why. Yeah, so, and now what we also can inspect here, and when we just that again, that we have a second tracing. So the tracing with the ask question. So here, answer agent. We have the tool. You can see here we ask the tool. We take a look here in the tool. Yeah, that are the tools, the messages, list flights. Here it was invoked, and we see the information. Yeah, going back, what we have done. Yeah, short summary. With that was was a fast walkthrough. Yeah. It took a little bit, and then what we did here, we set up the watsonx Orchestrate Development Edition. Here the server, yeah. So that is what we did, and we used the example, the MCP server from the Galaxium Travels example, yeah. And we just follow all the steps, and it is running, and I hope that was useful for you. And I say thanks for watching. I do some cutting to make that video a little bit shorter, yeah, if it is possible, yeah. And if you have any idea or topic you are interested, then just give me a feedback in the comments, and maybe I will take your comment or take your suggestion and create a video on that topic. Otherwise, I would like to say again thanks and bye. And if you like it, yeah, please give a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like that. And I say bye, and I wish you a nice remaining week whenever you watch this video. Bye. Come on.